I hope you enjoyed your coffee break. And we are moving on to our next panel discussion, our AI native development panel, the GenAI-Driven future of no-code development. So we're going to explore the convergence of generative AI, cloud platforms, and no-code, low-code development. So how these platforms are evolving into full-fledged innovation ecosystems. Our panelists and our moderator, well, let us begin with our moderator. Head of Integration and Governance Central PMO for First Abu Dhabi Bank, Aditya Baswan. Welcome. Aditya, are you here? Oh, there you are. All right, let's welcome our panelists. Dr. Christopher Abraham, the CEO and head of Dubai campus, SP Jain. Welcome, Dr. Christopher. Manish Vaidya, head of AI, Department of Culture and Tourism. Welcome, Manish. Dr. Jassim Al-Awadi, executive director, head of enterprise platforms for Emirates NBD. Welcome, Dr. Jassim. Waleed Al-Awadi, the head of solutions, GCG Enterprise Solutions. Welcome, Waleed. All right, please sit under your photos so that we... Yes. Dr. Christopher. All right, and Mr. Padam will be joining us shortly.
Okay, done. Morning all. Sorry, that took a while to mic me up. How's the traffic today? Glad to. Yes, Dubai traffic. If only we had AI to be able to. We are missing one moderator, one panelist, but hopefully Padam is able to join us midway, maybe round two. So, let's get underway. Interesting topic, close to my heart. So apart from obviously working, in a day job, Dr. Chris will be interested to find out I'm also a doctoral student and from his university actually. So this topic is close to my heart. My doctoral thesis, or the topic at least, is on AI adoption in GCC firms. So for me, I'm a student and I'll be learning from you, same as most of our panelists here. The topic is interesting as well because, as with most things, the country, with its ambition and its pace, has very quickly moved from models to markets. And this we see, if I kind of reflect back on typical technology adoption models, one of the older ones being the TOE framework. So from the technology, organization, and environment lens, if you look at environment, for us as a country, as a region, very fertile. And the regulator leads a lot of these innovations, and the government leads a lot of these innovations. So coming from the banking field, and Dr. Jassim as well, stuff like OpenAI, Open Finance, all of this was pushed initially, and promulgated by the regulator. On the AI side, we've clearly seen the AI Vision 2031, essentially the ambition to have 100% of government processes automated, AI agents already being deployed in a slew of government agencies. They were, I just met one of our audiences outside who's exploring something similar for the airports in Fujairah as well. So clearly, from an environment point of view, it's fertile, and the government is really pushing for this. Government services being automated. From a T and a and an O lens. So T is essentially everyone kind of sitting in the audience right now, and maybe you as well, Mr. Waleed, on what solutions you are offering and pushing. And O is the consumers, and we as Dubai residents are all consumers in a way, but organizations. So what is the mandate to onboard? What is the culture? What's the management support? So today, in the next 20, 25 minutes, we'd like to explore most of these. And what I found excellent was when Padmaja reached out, the panel members, obviously esteemed and highly regarded, are from a diverse set. So we have educators like Dr. Chris. We have government, representatives here. We obviously have banks and obviously the service providers. So let's delve a little deeper. Round one essentially will be a bit of the what and why, if that needs to be expounded, but we'll go a level deeper. And then round two will cover what are the next steps, what are some of the safeguards that we need to be. So again, there's no need to share anything confidential if any of you are concerned, but broadly addressing where are we as a region headed. And the call to action towards the end would be from our audience, what is the one thing they would like to do in the next 1 week to push the case in their organizations to their clients? So maybe starting with you, Dr. Chris, what skills, mindsets would be critical for the next generation of leaders? And you are doing a lot of that through your various programs. We've seen the local university here launch the AI school as well, certifications. In my daughter's school as well, she's 8, year 4. They are pushing for AI coding, and everything is so clearly. So over to you, sir. What are your views?
Morning, everybody. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Morning, everybody, and thank you very much for the question. I think there's a very interesting transition that's happening at the moment. Earlier, the leader, the manager, was the expert. He or she knew everything. Today, what you need is 3 kinds of mindsets. Number one, what I call a learn-it-all mindset, which means on an ongoing basis, whether I'm a senior leader, mid-level manager, or a junior level, entry level, I would need to continuously keep learning. I was just alluding to a conversation I had with my co-panelist. We were discussing over coffee, and he is contemplating, like you, he is planning to do his doctorate. But his major concern was, by the time I complete a doctoral program in 3 to 4 years, what happens to the topic?
Yes.
Which is very interesting, because the area of AI is so fast growing that how do you change? So one of the key things I would say is a mindset that is ready to learn. And one of the best examples is Satya Nadella's transformation of Microsoft. He said, from a know-it-all mindset, we have created what is called a learn-it-all mindset, which means on an ongoing basis, all of us, at whatever level we are, have to learn. That's number one, the learner's mindset. The second one I would call the centaur mindset. Centaur is an ancient mythological character, which is half man and half animal, horse. And now we will use that as half human and half machine. Yeah. So what we need is no longer AI only or human only. It has to be a judicious combination of human wisdom plus artificial intelligence, whether code, low code, no code, whatever, but that's the machine element. But I think it should be ridden by the human. And if you see the centaur, the human's got the face.
Yes.
So I think we need to have that. The brain, the face should be the human, and the machine becomes a complement. That's the second one, the collaborative, human plus machine collaborative mindset. The third one is what I call a builder mindset. What do we mean by this? The ability to create things for everybody's benefit. So we need people who can think in terms of not just, for example, I don't want to mention names of companies here, but I'm sure you will figure that out. There are companies that are into, let's say, arms, into military, into creating robotic weapons and soldiers. I would rather look for a fascinating cure for, let's say, cancer or long-term diseases, much more for humanity rather than for this one. So my original thoughts would be a learner mindset, which means learn, unlearn, relearn, a combination of human plus machine mindset, the centaur mindset, and a builder mindset where my focus is towards building products that society can benefit with. So this is where I think we need to move. We are a leading business school, as many of you may be aware, but we are also big into AI. So I think the interface between human and AI would be extremely critical.
Right. Excellent. And to that, just the centaur, the analogy is great because it is the head, it's still the brain, it's the human-driven AI, but you still have the body, so the swiftness and the speed and the power. Interesting, Dr. Chris, when I was doing my literature review for the research topic, a lot of initial advancement has in fact happened in healthcare, like the cancer twin.
Exactly.
Now in construction, the digital twins, and that seems to be a good use case. So yeah, I guess that is, if it continues down this path, it'll be great. Anything for Dr. Chris? Any follow-on? Yes, please. I think you have, yeah.
Thank you, Aditya, and thank you, Dr. Chris, for the concept of leaders that you have mentioned, and specifically you have mentioned Satya Nadella and what he did in Microsoft when he took over Microsoft in 2014.
14.
In 2014, Satya Nadella, he was appointed as an Microsoft CEO to uplift Microsoft as they were a bit struggling from product development and from the customer satisfaction rate as well. So what he did, he focused on the change of culture within the organization.
Cultural transformation.
Yeah, and this is something unique when you look at different leaders, different CEOs, and different people who are in the C-suite level. It's either they don't understand what does culture mean, how to trigger a change of a culture, but Satya Nadella, he succeeded in that. What he did, he changed the mindset of the employees within the organization. So he moved the mindset of know-it-all. So engineers, they are people who are developers looking at technology. But as technology are evolving, even customers or users' mindset are changing. Especially the young generations, they have very high expectation. They are more tech savvy. So Satya Nadella, what he did, he moved the focus from engineering to build a technology or a software to work with business internally, look at their product roadmap, look at their strategy. In addition to that, he activated a customer feedback loop. And in addition to that, he created a focus group between the engineering team and customers. That's why they succeeded. With that change, the satisfaction rate of the employees within Microsoft between 2014 to 2020 increased by 147%. The customer satisfaction rate went from number 38 in 2014 to be among the top 10 global organization in 2020. Even the employees within the organization, 72% of the employees, they feel that their work more valued as they integrated different cognitive technology, be it AI and others, to support them to accomplish their work. So Satya Nadella, with his mindset, he completely changed the culture within the organization.
Excellent.
When it comes to the United Arab Emirates, the journey in the United Arab Emirates started back in 1999 or the 2000. The establishment of the e-government, and then the smart government or mobile government, and now the AI-based government. In addition to that, not to have all the public sector organization work on silos, but they want to integrate the private sector organization as well. That's why the United Arab Emirates, they established something called the UAE API market, where different public sector organizations, they can connect to the public sector organization infrastructure application to reflect back and have a seamless customer experience journey for the citizens within the United Arab Emirates. As you see, a lot of public sector organization apps today, they are connected with the UAE Pass, from the healthcare sector to the
Utilities,
financial sector, and you name it. In addition to that, what I can see in future, the United Arab Emirates government, they are toward a concept called the invisible government. And what does that invisible government mean? It's to accomplish your service, your need from the government, but away from government facilities. So you don't see the government buildings, you don't interact with them directly, but you accomplish your needs through an app. Let me give you an example. Renewal of your car registration. Now you have, or 1 decade before, you have one option only, and that option is to go to Tasjil, take your car for test. After the test, you go into Tasjil building, take a token, wait in a queue, then once you reach the service desk, you give them your old registration card, you get your car test result, you pay, and then you get your new car registration. But today, you don't even go to Tasjil. You go to the nearest petrol station, get your car tested, and then you go away.
Yeah.
Then you enter the MOI application, and that MOI application, it's connected through an API to the insurance company. So once you insured your insurance policy, it's instantly available in MOI. Your car registration or your car test result instantly is updated. You need to log in through UAE Pass, pay your fines, pay your renewal car registration, and then your new car registration or registration card delivered to the address that you desire. So now, the government, it's invisible for me. Why? Because I don't see a traffic department office. I don't see Tasjil. It's only I see the petrol station that frequently I visit.
And I think what enables this will be fascinating to learn from the platform side of things. And speaking of since it's I think the innovation, as I said, is led a lot by the regulator and pushed by the government. And Manish, being part of the Dubai culture of tourism, what is your experience? And I'll share on the at least what I'm seeing on the being part of the Mubadala holding group. But what is your experience looking at this? You know, essentially, how is it evolving? You know, being part of the government entity.
Sure, there are a lot of things that we are doing, and I can see the future is, there's a lot of things going to happen on the low-code, no-code environment. And within DCT also, we are using these kind of tools and technologies to build a lot of quick prototypes. Earlier, for example, if there's an idea that you want to build, you want to implement, there was a cycle to gather your requirements that will go for 1 or 2 weeks of time, and then somebody will look at the design aspects, what is the functional requirement, and come back with a proposal that this is how it would look like. But with these low-code, no-code environments, probably the prototyping is expedited. Now you can have the prototype in a couple of days. You don't need an army to build the design phase. So once you have the requirement, you understand the basic requirement. Then we go back and do the prototyping in these environments. Once we have this prototype, it becomes much easier for tech team as well as business to understand what they are envisioning. And then we start journey from there. That this is how your tool or solution would look like. What are the kind of features you are looking for? And then they can slice and dice, they can click on things, and it becomes like the end tool that we are creating, we already have a prototype. And it becomes easier for us to collaborate. We look at the genuine feedbacks, we don't wait for weeks or months to come back with the feedback that this is how the tool should look like, this is the feature or this is the workflow we are looking for. That's on one side of thing, when we are in the very initial design phase. Even on the development side, when we build this prototype, it's not that it's just only a beautiful prototype that we are creating. We also reuse the code that is generated in the back end. Because these tools not only create the beautiful front end, it generates the code as well. So we start from there. But rather than starting from scratch and taking again weeks or months to build that tool, we start using these tools and then it expedites the process.
Do you have like an example of?
Sure.
For example, are you doing something with Disney World with the
yeah,
how will
sure.
the layout be like or something?
Yeah, so we can give you examples of some of the things that we are doing internal for this city as well as for the whole ecosystem. For example, museums. When we're looking at museums, how things should look like, we start with simulations, and these environments are helping us to build a very basic digital twin. It's not the full-fledged digital twins, but we start with prototyping of how the ecosystem looks like, where we expect people to spend more time, because we have multiple artifacts, multiple galleries. So we need to make sure that crowd management is in the right way. So we make sure that how people navigate, how they would navigate a prototyping, a simulation of these aspects. This gives us a bit of idea that, there are different kind of personas. So another example is we build personas as well, because everyone has a different taste. I'm giving an example of museum because, lately there is a museum that we opened last week. There is another opening up next week.
Okay.
So then we build also personas in terms of, because from our experience, from the data that we have been gathering, we understand that different markets or people coming from different countries behave a bit differently. Somebody is more interested in artwork, somebody is more interested in the digital aspect of things.
Or the restaurant refreshments.
Yes. Restaurant refreshments, kind of food and beverages,
Yes.
So we also analyze those kind of aspects, that what kind of market is growing, which people from which market, and what kind of food or drinks they would like to have, so that we also give these feedbacks to our ecosystem. But coming back to development cycle, how does it help? It's starting from prototyping till delivery. We are using a lot of these platforms to expedite the whole process, to bring it closer to reality even before we spend few weeks, months, and so on. And then I see the future is there. However, the caveat is we cannot rely only on this platform to build the end solution. It's very good for building to a certain level, but then still you need those expertise from business aspects, from technical aspects. Even though I'm using, or my team is using low code, no code, but still the experience of being coders, that will still be there. Okay. Because probably you would have heard about debugging codes from chat GPTs and so on, right? People spend more time in debugging rather than building. So that is where you need to have those expertise so that it complements each other. And as my co-panelist, Professor was saying, that there always be a human in the loop. We can minimize that aspect, but still I believe there will always be a human in the loop when we are using AI.
Thanks, Manish, for that. We'll explore that in the safeguards, the human in the loop, the kind of man behind the machine. The kind of quasi-governmental, at least my experience. And what's interesting is, I don't know how many folks here are aware, Mubadala as a holding organization has a board observer, an AI board observer, and all the subsidiaries or the concerns are supposed to also implement it. So this year, next year, it'll be an observer, and maybe a year or down the road, it'll be voting. So that's very interesting. So it just clearly shows that from the very top, the direction is clear.
Yeah.
And number of AI use cases, I'm sure in your case, you are pushing ahead of AI, number of prototypes, number of AI use cases are on all the N1 executive scorecards. So as I said, the environment, clearly, organization we've discussed, management support, we discussed the Satya Nadella example. So then we'll come to Waleed on the T, the technology, and then we'll circle back around on. So Waleed, as for you, what kind of breakthroughs are enabling this and creating that innovative ecosystem?
Actually, I totally agreed with all the things which has been mentioned, but from the technology provider standpoint, we have seen a potential on all these use cases. From technology provider standpoint, I can summarize 3 breakthroughs, which is really making AI and low-code it's innovative technology. First, we can say that generative AI as a co-creator. You know, all of us, that AI now can, instead of automating tasks, AI now is understand intent. So it can suggest logic flow, also auto-generate UIs, even debugs. That's based on the discussion before, that the business user also now is becoming a solution builder without writing single line of code. So this is something which is AI, it's adding to the ground. The second one, which is related to the context-aware integration layer. Integration is very important part on this. Modern platforms now adding intelligent connector, not only just to link systems, but also to interpret data semantic between these, like ERP, CRM, and legacy tools also. It's very important in this part. So making interoperability seamless and meaningful. The third one, which is I can consider related to the self-involving architecture. The architecture of the no-code and AI is very important now. Because these platforms, it's understand or learn from user behavior. So it can use this pattern to recommend some optimization, adapt workflow, so blurring the line between using the system and co-innovate with it. So what I can see, or we can see that together, all these breakthroughs is transfer the low code or no code from productivity tools to enterprise ecosystem. So, which can make, as the last point which has been mentioned, that expert along with developers and AI, they can collaborate together in order to solve complex problem easy and faster. So,
excellent. Yeah. Excellent. So, and then Dr. Jassim, from the adopter lens, this is something I always struggle with. So, Gen AI influencing enterprise platforms, it's like a chicken and egg, because do you need to have enterprise platforms set up in a certain way? You have a architecture layer, or would it help you get there and then it accelerates adoption? So your enterprise payment rails or APIs. So what's the interplay? Does one need to exist first? And how would you kind of solve for this?
See, at this stage, if you look at the enterprise platforms, the focus now where we started in Emirates MBD is how to leverage on the power of generative AI in writing codes. And this is the journey that we have started already, and it will continue in 2026. And the result is really tremendous. I will give you an example. We used to have system testers, human. Then later, we were having an application where software engineers, they write a specific code for that software to perform a test or an automated test on a specific platform or a website.
Yes, scripts. Yeah.
Okay, so we eliminated the manual intervention of people, and now we depend on a tool to perform a test for us. Now, and instead of having a software engineer spend around 3 to 4 hours write a code for a specific list of use cases for the software or for an application to perform a test, now I am leveraging on Claude AI. I write a prompt. That prompt, it takes around 10 to 15 minutes to generate a code for me. And then a software engineer, he would spend around 5 to 10 minutes to review the code, refine it, and push it for testing. So these are the things that we are using now in Emirates MBD to leverage on the power of AI and generative AI. And this is one of the use cases within the domain that I am heading today. I have more use cases, but not yet in the pipeline to test it and to disclose. But this is the things that I'm focusing on now, because I see that software engineers, they are spending a lot of time on writing codes where Claude AI can write it for them within a fraction of a minute of a time span that they need. And when it comes to adoption, it comes back to the leader vision, leadership focus, and we are lucky in Emirates MBD. I was in the telecom sector before, and now I moved to the financial sector. In Emirates MBD, specifically, we are really lucky that we have an executive team. Our chief, he is a visionary leader. He knows what is coming as a technology in the future, and he's making the environment ready, enabling the technology for people within the organization to use, to test, and to upskill and cross-skill their capability to be ready to leverage on the power of such tools once we reach a certain maturity level. Excellent.
Thank you. I would love to, please do grab Dr. Jassim, and I think it'll be great to see what these use cases are. We are seeing a lot of other institutions also partnering with service providers to set up internal trainings. I think Accenture did something with CBD recently. Some people are doing it in-house. So this whole thing of culture, mindset, I think you have to tackle it the same way I guess we all were doing Lean and Six Sigma, then Agile. We were training people up. There was, trainings at all levels as well. And this coming back to then, we are running out of time here, but if I quickly go to Dr. Chris from an educator, are we rushing head first? What are some of the ethical considerations? And then we'll quickly go around, maybe everyone, and just do a closing, because I know we've gone over a bit, but over to you, Dr. Chris.
That's a very interesting paradox to have. On one hand, we are very excited that we have democratized programming. And as he rightly said, Claude creates it, but at the end of the day, a human reviews it.
Yeah.
So I have 4 thoughts, 4 simple things that I think are extremely important. Number 1 is power. Who creates the code? Who creates the solution, and at what cost? That's number 1. Which means it also needs to have inclusion. And again, I'm blessed to be here in this country for 31 years. I can tell you, we are at the forefront. Number 1, when LLMs were a big news, we took that step, when I say UAE, to create the largest LLM in Arabic, spending millions, if not billions, into that investment. So I think that is the inclusion part. Now we need to increasingly look at how we can democratize these systems for all. which means global south, multiple languages, multiple communities. How do they get the benefit? That's number one, power and inclusion. My second point is fairness, which is again coming back to ethical considerations of how fair are we in terms of looking at the data, looking at using the data. Is the machine hallucinating? Is it giving the right kind of information? So fairness would be very important. Bias testing, safeguards, guardrails, those would be extremely critical. My third point is transparency and human agency. Again, there's a lot of gray area there, right? So OpenAI does something, Gemini does something, and somebody from China called DeepSeek comes in and gives you something, it says at half the cost. So there are a lot of these contradictions. I think more transparency required. And still the human agency, the power of the human being to be on the loop and take the final decision should be there. It's like, a plane running on autopilot. The plane can run on autopilot, but at critical junctures, it's the human judgment that comes in to ensure that it does. And a famous example is the plane that landed on the Hudson River. Now, normally nobody would do it. Everybody would want to land the plane on a tarmac. But here was Captain Sullenberger, who decided to do it. That was human judgment. So I think we still need to give consideration for human judgment. And the last one, which I think is accountability and social contract of work. Because with all these good things happening and the no-code, low-code now coming in, it's putting software into a kind of box so anybody can become a developer, quote unquote. For me, that's nice, but it also needs to ensure that the long-term future of humanity in terms of broad, let's say, distribution of wealth, distribution of income, work. So all of those ethical challenges should also be addressed.
Excellent. Noted. Thank you, Dr. Chris. And there's a related case study of this, what Amazon, the hiring issue, which it worked on data, but then the data suggested...
It was biased.
Yes, it was biased.
Exactly.
And this is for everyone, all of our the audience. If you're selling, I would really love, rather than a tool, if someone can also suggest an ethics framework to go with it, an upskilling framework. So rather than just looking at insular at platform licenses to sell, more of a partnership approach where a lot of firms would grapple with, yes, the regulator would write certain guidelines and standards, but you have to contextualize it for the organization. So I'll bring it back to you, Manish. And what role do the specific, what you're seeing in, if you want to continue the thread of ethics and morality, you can, or you can, see what, how do we reduce the technical barriers and enhance productivity?
Sure. So I can continue on the same thread. So there's a very thin line between governance and democratization, because democratization is about giving access to everyone and they can use and leverage data and AI for everything. On the other hand, governance is like what kind of access you can give, what kind of data they can use and where they can use it. So the thin line today is very diluted. It's very difficult to control where it should sit in. However, in terms of using low code, no code, and these kind of environments, it is more on the democratization side that people can use these solutions. And to help our ecosystem, we are coming up with a lot of AI assistants. You can call it chatbots, AI assistants, but the future is of course on the agentic side. And with these, access to these kind of tools, a lot of people are also scared about what will happen to their job. Will this be automated? Will they going to lose this job? The problem is not these solutions is not there to take your job. It is to augment what you do right now. And that is where sometimes I refer AI is not artificial intelligence, it's augmented intelligence. Without human, this intelligence is not going to work for you. So you need human intelligence, and then AI can augment what you are doing right now for more of operational efficiency and excellence, whatever you do. And as he was talking about a lot of on the responsible side of things and compliance side of things, of course, this needs to be taken care of. So currently in our ecosystem also, we are working heavily on, investing heavily also on the governance. Because it's a responsibility, being a government entity, it's our responsibility also that how do we use data and what kind of insights we are passing on to our ecosystem, Because there is an opportunity cost, but there is also a bigger cost in reputation. We do something which doesn't make sense, and that is where, as Jassim was saying, that there's always a human in the loop. It has to be there, and that is where the governance is always a very important aspect.
All right. Excellent. And Dr. Jassim, just building on that, on the ethics, on the personal, so we've seen this evolution, and you've been at the forefront of most of this, from, I guess, software engineers to, and developers to, front to back, what we call DevOps, CI/CD. So, especially on the software development side, there's so much change, people especially folks graduating, let's say, from Dr. Chris's universities. So where do you see this long-term transformation? Is it just no need for developers, thank you so much? Product owners will do everything. They know best. They know their customer. So why do you even need, So let them, create. So what is the long-term view of this? Where are we heading?
The long-term view on this is still we need developers. Although there is an advancement of such artificial intelligence tool and system, but still you need an expert to review and evaluate the outcome. That's why what my colleague said, that it need to be considered as an human augmenters, okay, but not a task or not a job taker. It will take some type of jobs that it doesn't require or doesn't require skills, okay, but for the skilled jobs like software engineers, still they are required and they are valuable in the job market. Although you may say that or hear from the big tech giants like Elon Musk and the CEO or the founder of OpenAI, Sam Altman, he said that within 3 or 4 years we don't need software engineers. Okay. If he's saying that we don't need software engineers, then why he is chasing software engineers and acquire them for his company? Okay, he has a powerful tool, he has an LLM, and then why he need an software engineers and pay them in billions of dollars to acquire them? Sometimes it's good to hear from media, but don't believe any or all the statements from the big tech giants, because they have different perspective and different focus when it comes to their statements. It's to market their product for the futures. Assume if I prompt in Claude AI to write me a code for a specific case. Okay, for me, I am not a code coder. I am not a software coder. How will I evaluate the outcome of the AI? Okay, how I would know that it's right or wrong, or it require a rectification or a tweak? Still, it's required a skilled software engineer to review and to tweak and rectify. Yeah. It's the same for all the other skilled jobs. For example, if you need, if it comes to lawyers, for example, or doctors, okay, still you need them. Although you may explain a symptom to ChatGPT, for example, okay, and it will give you a cure or a feedback, but still you need a doctor to confirm if that outcome is correct or not. So AI in the future, it will be like a job augmenter. Okay, it will support you to accomplish more in a short span of time.
Okay, as a work aid. Thank you. That'll comfort a lot of people. Excellent. And then, Mr. Waleed, what are these models which are now coming up for adoption?
Mr. Aditya, we are sadly all out of time.
Oh, yes,
if you can please wrap it up, thank you.
Do we give Mr. Waleed 1 minute to just conclude,
sure.
maybe?
Yeah, it's only 1 minute.
Thank you.
I'll try to summarize.
Yes, please. Please go ahead. So what are the models? Like, we've seen sort of POCs at cost, et cetera, happening.
Yes, actually, but I need just to add 1 point to Dr. Jassim. Yes, I agree totally that software engineer is still required with all these AI, but I can see that the only developers is required or will be continue that who's be able to use AI. So who's dealing with AI very well, this is the developer who will survive in the future. And in the future also let us focus on the investors example. So in investors, they are, as they mentioned, you can see that each specific sectors or industries that's required, they have their own requirements. So investors nowadays, they are backing with the smart startup companies. So they are building AI-powered tools for a specific industry. Like if we take an example for finance, healthcare, or logistics, they have a specific requirement which is need the AI-powered built for them. So, and these startup, of course, they are not working alone. They are also team up with industry expert. So always in this area, you need an industry expert who knows the industry well to work closely with this AI tool in order to build specific tools can adapt with the requirement of this. So in order to discuss generally with the AI tools for a specific requirement, of course, you will get wrong result. So, and instead of generating or adding this AI or tools as an extra feature on the system, low code supposed to focus on adding these tools as an AI inside the heart of the system. So companies who's making AI central of their application, not just an add-on, they will win. So finally, since the light is on my face, I can see the real shift. We are moving from developers build for users to users building with AI. So this is the future.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I know we're going to get chased out. Don't have a closing statement, but I just want to thank for an engaging conversation to the panelists. Thank you so much for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a huge round of applause.
Thank you.